Taskila is a part-time writer as well as a full-time mom who wants her husband to know that she loves him very, very much and hopes he forgives her for her monologue, which is called Daddy Bullpen. Tanya.
At a dinner party last July, right after my husband James and I made the announcement, we're having a baby, a friend of his, also a respected doctor and father of 3, pulled me aside. "I have to tell you something," he said, looking about to make sure no one else could hear. "Listen, don't be surprised if James acts a little weird in the beginning. We fathers love our kids and everything, but when they're babies, not so much. I mean, not that we don't actually love them, it's just men don't really know what to do with these little blobs of flesh. But don't worry, as soon as that little guy or gal starts playing catch, James will get right into the whole dad thing." "Oh, thank you," I said with feigned sincerity, a smirk in my heart. Because although I knew my husband as a guy's guy, I also knew him as a guy who loves babies. Flash forward to February 2010. James was the rock star partner in the hospital, huffing and puffing right along with me. He had no qualms, was not squeamish one bit about what things were looking like down there. He, in fact, wanted to get up close and personal to greet the little guy, whom he swears finally, after hours of struggle, shot out like a champagne cork. Then he cried with joy, took a zillion pictures, passed out cigars, telling everyone in the hospital, "I'm the daddy of a brand new baby boy." Flash forward to September. Daddy is holding our little one when his iPhone rings. "Here, hold this, will you?" he said, shoving our little baby into my arms. This, I was enraged. "I'm sorry, I meant him," he said with his hand over his receiver so the cycling buddies couldn't hear. He'd been lining up a nearly all-day Saturday ride after a 60-hour work week and a Friday night's Giants game. "Well, we're season ticket holders. This could be the game that puts us in the playoffs. Do you have any idea how important this is?" A few evenings later, when it was his turn to keep an eye on the baby, he said, "Wait, could you watch Dante for a second while I grab a beer?" Our child is not named Dante. Our child is Liam. Who's Dante? Our deceased yellow lab. "Did you just mix up our dog with our baby?" "Yeah, I love that dog. God, I miss him." I miss Dante too. There was a time when we both considered him our baby, but I thought since giving birth, there'd been no doubt Liam was our first and only child. Yet the dog-baby distinction seemed a bit blurry to James. Even today, when Liam cries on the changing table, the only thing that occurs to him to do is to whistle and slap his thigh and say, "Come on, Liam, attaboy." Now, did I mention back in March, right after our pediatrician's warning that any television watching under the age of 2 will turn your baby's head to mush? Guess who the very next day I caught curled up in Daddy's lap watching NBA playoffs? So the smirk has been wiped right off my heart. I am so grateful for that heads up from James' friend, because knowing that this is all normal behavior allows me to focus on the good. Such as, I've also come home and caught James in a bubbly tub with Liam, washing his hair and singing Itsy Bitsy Spider. He never would have done that with Dante. And though it was a bummer when he would leave us for the Giants, I should confess he always invited us, begged us actually to go. But I'm kind of a stickler about naps and bedtime. Yet Daddy, resentment-free about having to go solo, would come bounding home with wee-sized caps, onesies, and bibs that said, "Fear the beard." Pretty cool items to have these days. Most importantly, whenever I can't get Liam to sleep, I hand him off to my hubby, the closer. He always succeeds, no matter how many hours of swaying and rocking and shushing it takes, and he does it with the most serene smile. Perhaps it's those 70-mile bike rides that give him such stamina. So not only am I relieved to know that little Liam has a great daddy now, I can only imagine how even more incredible he's going to be once Liam, starts catching that ball.